Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Tariq Mehmood Jami from Washington, D.C. Viewers, Islam is the fastest growing religion of this planet. Muslims live all around the globe, particularly where they are living, they are playing their major role for the prosperity of these countries. And most of the Muslims, where they are living, they have their families with them. So Muslims families where they are living, their kids getting education, and in the educational system sometimes they face some problems, some hurdles, some hardships who make them uncomfortable in this education system. So we are here to discuss that problems that our young generation is facing in these days. Tonight we have a young Pakistani American student. He's already in American. He's getting education in American education system. So at the same time, he is an emerging Muslim student leader. Tonight we have Mr. Sabil Nadeem Meher with us. So with him we will discuss the problem and some answer in there. Then some questions and their answers from Mr. Sabil Nadeem Meher. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sabil.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
How are you feeling tonight?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Thank you for saying. Sabil, how is your experience in American educational system as an individual Muslim student?
My experience as a Muslim student in the education system. So I have been a student in the American education system ever since I was in kindergarten. I was raised here, from kindergarten all the way to college. I've been going to school in America. And the experiences we've had in the American institutions and the education systems in our schools, we've all had our fair share of different experiences. There's a lot of struggles we face. We lack representation, we face racial issues, discrimination, racial profiling. A lot of the times Muslim students have felt where they have been left out, whereas in Muslim countries they don't have this problem. So these are a lot of the issues we face because a lot of people lack the knowledge of Islam and they're misinformed about Islam. So we have faced these issues our entire life and we continue to face these issues till this day.
What kind of problem and hardships you guys facing in these days, and what kind of problems that our young generation is facing in these days in American educational school system?
So currently one of the major problems that we are facing is we don't have good role models. We don't have good Muslim role models to go to. We don't have a lot of Muslim teachers at our schools. It's very rare to find a Muslim teacher or a Muslim board member to even talk to or relate to our problems. We don't have the support we need from the community. We don't have the support from the education system and our community as a whole. We need more support and we need help because we don't have the proper structure for being a Muslim student, We need help from this. We have a lot of problems where we get into physical altercations, or we have issues, even such issues that police get involved, where police are sent to our homes because of racial profiling.
Freedom of religion is the basic fundamental right for the American national citizens. So, are you guys free to practice your religion in your educational institutes?
Of course, we are free. We're told we are free as American citizens. This is our right. But there are still racial disparities and issues amongst the school system and the people running these institutions. We're told we can have Jummahs or run Jummahs, and then we have instances where we are kicked out for Jummah. We're told we can do certain things and we're given permission, but then later they revoke these and say it's a privilege, but really it's a right. We have a right to practice our religion and we have the freedom to practice our religion, but there's a lot of racial disparity, discrimination, and judgment from the community because of the lack of knowledge and information about Islam.
Unity is the basic power for every community and society where they live. So, what do you think our Muslim students in the in institutes, are they united? Are they separated?
Some of them are united, but some of them are separated. It's a clear line is drawn. A lot of Muslim students are even afraid to say that they're Muslim nowadays. A lot of people don't admit they're Muslim, they don't claim proudly they're Muslim. And this is due to racial profiling and discrimination that they have faced. This is trauma that they have faced in the past. They don't stand up and say I'm Muslim, and they don't come and join their Muslim brothers, and they don't stand together. So this makes them divided. It causes a lot of issues within our own community amongst the youth.
We are listening about Islamophobia. Does it hurt American society too? Does it hurt American educational institutes' atmosphere too?
Of course it does. Islamophobia is heavy in the United States, in our school systems, in our community, all over the place. We have tons of issues where, because of Islamophobia, students get into trouble or they face trouble with the police or the law over racial profiling, and it results in bullying of Muslim students, harassment, threats, violence against Muslim students because it's Islamophobia that they're learning.
What do you think? The parents in United States of America, are they playing their strong role to protect their young generation?
No, not really. There needs to be more parent involvement with the children in the education systems. A lot of Muslim kids, their parents don't come to the schools or don't really get involved in it. They trust the system, but we can't. The system is flawed right now. We can't trust the system to just take care of our children. We have to get involved with the system, and the parents have to see and learn what their children are going through so they can understand what their children are dealing with as immigrants or as Muslims and students.
What about Islamic events like we have Eid, Ramadan, and the different Islamic events? So what do you think that in these kind of institutes, can you guys celebrate these events?
Yes, we can, but there's not a lot of awareness for it. Just recently, if I'm not mistaken, within the past year or two, we got days off for Eid, which we didn't get in the past. It was a struggle for us to get one holiday off throughout the year, whereas other people, they're represented very well and they can get whatever day they want off. But for us, it's hard because we don't have the representation we need. For Ramadan, we face issues with teachers mistreating some Muslim students and really not, being aware of what Ramadan is. And, Ramadan's a really tough time for students where they have exams and all the stuff, but they're so Muslim at the end of the day, so Ramadan's more important for them before all those things. So they need to be treated accordingly, and people need to be aware of this, and they need to be informed about this.
Do you guys have a special, particular places for your ibadah, salat, or Jummah?
Yes, we do have places. In college, we do have places, campuses such as CCBC, UMBC, they all have places for this. But a lot of the other schools, they lack this. The high schools, they lack this. Middle schools, they lack this. They don't have these facilities, and they don't provide these facilities for the students. They don't even provide the time, permission, or supervision to do these things.
Definitely you are a young student, a young man. You are spending most of your time in your institute. You're spending the time with young generation too. What do you think, that our young generation is totally aware with their religion or not?
They are aware, but it's gotten to a point where some of them are afraid to practice their religion openly. They fear judgment from the Western society, and that they will be judged, they will be, blacklisted or looked at a different way, because they feel as if they show that they're Muslim and they show their beliefs, and if they don't correlate with what the majority believes in, they feel that they will be left out and that they will be discluded from school things.
Do our young kids discuss their problems with their parents or not?
No, a lot of them don't. They don't feel as if they can go to their parents to discuss these problems.
Why the generation has gap? Why parents don't know the problems of their kids, and kids don't share their problems with the parents? What is the gap, and what should we do to clear this gap?
Of course, there's a huge generational gap because we don't have the communication with our children and their teachers and their principals. We don't get too involved with this. We just trust the system to do their job, which we can't do. But we have to close this gap, we have to get more involved with their children's education, and really, as a community, as the masjid or as the local imams or our institutes, we have to get involved with these institutes and these colleges and these schools and make it a place, make it an environment where these kids feel like they can go to their teachers, they can go to their parents and discuss these issues.
The Islamic institutes in United States of America, they are trying to aware our young kids, our young generation, with their Islamic rules and customs too?
Yes, they are. It's widespread across the nation, but it could be more instituted and work well with students and invite them more into the masjid. So if students are connected from the masjid to the schools, it's going to bring more people to the deen.
Do you guys have any Islamic societies or Islamic gatherings or platform to discuss these kind of matters?
Yes, we have the MSA, the Muslim Student Association, out of a lot of our schools, our colleges and our high schools, where we are able to make events, make informational pamphlets, hand them out, and really teach people about what Islam is. We openly welcome Muslims and non-Muslims to learn about Islam, and we do this every day. We're planning events constantly throughout the semester. And initially, our goal is to really just make the college campuses and the school campuses a better place for Muslims.
So what can our society play a role to solve these kind of problems? What we should do?
What our community needs to do is be more involved with our children's education and the extracurricular activities they are being involved in. If we have our masjids reach out to the schools, to the institutions, to the college boards and the high schools, we have more representation. We lack a lot of representation. A lot of the churches and the institutions, their priests, all that stuff, they are talking to the schools and they're getting involved. They have say in the state and in the board, but we lack this. We don't have involvement. We don't have the representation we need. And we need this representation because somebody has to speak up for us.
What should the American educational institute system should do to accommodate the students?
What they need to do to accommodate the students is they need to be able to understand the Muslim community's needs. They need to be able to understand our beliefs, our values, our traditions, and what we need, regardless of the school year time or the holiday. At the end of the day, we're a Muslim, and we were Muslim before we were even a student. This is a part of being Muslim. So they have to understand, for us to be a student, we have to be able to openly practice our religion.
So Muslim students, not just in the United States of America, where they are, they should not think that they are just students. They are students. Beside that, they are the major correspondent people of Islam too. So they are showing the beautiful and peaceful face of Islam. So they should make awareness in their universities, their colleges, their schools, to make the people aware, and people, they should know that what is Islam is and what Islam says for the community, and make them strong. And Mr. Subil, what about LGBT in schools and institutes? Is still hurting for the students, or is affecting to the Muslim students too?
In a way it is, because a lot of the curriculum nowadays is involving these ideologies of Western society. Of course, this is against our beliefs and what we believe as Muslims, but a lot of times we feel like we are forced to learn this curriculum, where you can see even schools in Texas, they had things in the books that they were against the Muslim values and beliefs, and there were protests for this. We need to act out against these things. Our children, in our culture, in our religion, we have the freedom to believe that we don't believe in this, and that is perfectly fine. We should not be judged for this. We respect everyone, and we ask the same respect to openly respect our beliefs and our values.
Do the Islamic society is playing their role to explain the faith and ideas about LGBT in Islam? Do they doing any kind of efforts to make our young generation aware with that?
There's a small effort of this, but there's also a huge miscommunication. People are often scared to talk about this because they feel the repercussions. There should be an open dialogue about this. There should be no fear of judgment when we talk about this, because at the end of the day, if we don't talk about this, we will never make progress with this problem.
What's the main reason parents they are not paying attention to their kids' progress in their institutes and their what they are have activities in Islamic or in their educational institutes? What's the problem? Why the parents are not aware with these problems?
I believe the parents aren't aware is because the community itself as a whole is not as equally involved. The parents will follow in the footsteps of the community as a whole. So if our imams reach out and our masjids reach out to these schools and they help to cater to the Muslim students and they have a good relationship, of course the parents are going to be aware of this and they're going to follow. But as of now, we don't have this connection that we need to develop.
So, beside that, you are not just only a student, you are a good businessman too, you are running a business, and beside that, you are the active member of youth committee of Masjid al-Karam. So, what you are saying to our young generation that how they should come to the Islamic institutes and they should come to learn about their religion?
Of course, coming to the masjid is just as equally as important, if not more important, than going to school. You know, a lot of times we neglect this thing. We go to school, we come home, and we forget about our religion. We forget to gain the knowledge and practices. We need to carry these two equally as important, and we need to gain information in both fields.
So whoever is against Islam and whoever is opposing Islam, the main reason is they are have less education about Islam and they are not completely aware about Islam. So what is your suggestion about the biography of Prophet ﷺ and the character of Prophet ﷺ, how it should explain for our young generation?
Of course, there's a lot of misconceptions about Islam. Really, people, they take one thing and they judge the entire religion and the group of people. They're unaware of the beauty of Islam. If they really look at the characteristics of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and they look at the seerah and they will understand that Islam is a peaceful religion, that we advocate for peace, and that really the things that they're hearing in the media and that they're hearing in their communities is a huge misconception.
Do you guys have any Islamic literature to spread in your institutes? Are any Muslim scholars they are doing any work for that kind of literatures that you guys can spread in your institutes?
We have a very small, I wouldn't say it's literature, but we do make pamphlets with our, we do this ourselves. We design pamphlets and we give the information out. We do lack the literature. This is something we could also use support in from the community, from the masjids, to provide authentic literature to the community to give out. We were giving out English Qurans at the community college, but we need to take this a step further. And this could really also help us to give people the information that they need and clear up the misconceptions.
The freedom of speech is the basic and fundamental right of U.S. citizens, U.S. nationals. So, do you feel any time that in your institute or other educational institute, people are using this right to abuse Islam or abuse the Islamic culture?
Of course, this is a big problem. We face a lot of racism and Islamophobia. There's hate speech, and then there's the First Amendment. You have the freedom of speech. But then when people are insulting, bullying Muslim students, and this goes against their code, this goes against school code of conduct, but they're unaware of this. We have to draw a line between this about disagreeing and disrespecting. There's a fine line between this.
So, Islamic institutes are not just institutes, they are Islamic community centers too, and they should teach our young generation about our religion and our customs and our Islamic culture. So, what do you suggest about our young generation, how they can get rid of these kind of problems and how they can face that kind of problems strongly?
They need to face these problems with confidence. They cannot be discouraged by this. Of course, we face racism and we face these problems every day, but we need to be able to stand up and say we're Muslim, and we need to give the people the right information. We need to show them what Muslim is. We don't retaliate. We're peaceful. We just inform people and we teach people the right way. We need to teach them about our religion. We need to build good relationships with the community and the people around us. We live in a Western society, and of course we live in a Christian country majority. But we still keep the peace between everyone and we respect everyone, and this is the way it should be amongst everyone.
We need some more strong voices like you, some more energetic leaders like you. So, what is your new message? What is your message for our young kids and our new generation?
My message to the new generation and the kids growing up in the Western society is that we need to work hard. We don't have the time or the luxury to waste to sit around doing meaningless things. As young men, we need to get up every morning. We need to have ambition to change the world. We need to work hard for this. You know, we need to make this place better for our brothers and sisters. We have to work hard for this, and we need to have ambition, keep high hopes up. You know, these younger kids in the community, I look at them as if they're my younger brothers, and I mentor them, and I teach them certain things that they don't know. And this is the way it should be for everyone. There should be a system for this. They need people they can look up to. And we really need to not waste our time on this. We have to understand that this is an important issue. There's going to be a time where we have children and they have children. We're going to be grandparents, and we wouldn't want this society to be hard on them. We want them to live in a society where it's peaceful, where they can practice Islam openly, where they have centers they can go to, where they have information and they have people that they can rely on as Muslims. This is what we need in our community.
We come to the United States and other European countries or other countries to just work and make ourselves successful in life, and we want to make our families strong. So we just here to help our Pakistani brothers and our homeland Pakistan too. So we have our young generation right here. They are our wealth, because if we are right here to make ourselves prosperous, just make money and make us strong financially, and we are paying the price that we lost our young generation. So this price is very heavy price. So to protect our young generation, Islamic societies, all Islamic centers, parents, and particularly the Muslim Islamic leaders, they should pay attention on our young kids' problems, and they should try to solve their problems, and they should try to clear their concept about their religion too. So I'm very thankful to you, Mr. Sabil Meher. You gave us time, and inshallah we will be back soon with a new topic and with some new problems of our community. So for till new program we are coming, so give us permission to leave. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.